You're listening to TG1F, an F1 podcast with Kate and Nicole.
We're your hosts. I'm Kate.
And I'm Nicole.
And this is our show, where we talk about all things Formula One.
And a lot of things that are not Formula One, too.
Because why the heck not?
This is your formal invitation to a weekly hangout with your F1 BFFs, where we'll talk on-track action, off-track gossip, and throw in some hot pop culture topics.
It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned F1 fan, a curious newbie, or literally just think the drivers are hot. Because they are. There's a little something in this podcast for everyone.
Speaking of which, did you hear what happened this week?
No, tell me about it.
It's lights out and away we go, baby.
Whoa, I don't even have my agenda. I don't even have my phone on me.
We're just freeballing this week.
We're
crazy, filming.
Feeling crazy. Filming together.
Filming right after the race. Who are we?
Who are we? I don't know. Truly.
Certainly not something we've ever done before.
Maybe once.
Maybe. Back when we were like in the early days of...
Well, back when we lived near each other and watched all the races together.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been a while. It's been a minute.
It's been a while. It's been a minute, but we're back together.
We're back together and we got to watch the race together this week.
I know, what a treat.
So fun. Such a treat. I mean, well, we didn't watch it live. We said this last week. We weren't going to.
You guys knew that this wasn't in the cards for us.
No, China was not going to happen for us live, but we did wake up and immediately put it on. So I think we did it. We did enough. We did our best.
Yeah.
We did our best.
And that's all we can ever hope for.
Really, all that we can ever do is our best. But we have a lot to talk about from China.
I mean, it's fresh on our minds.
We
were taking this while we were watching this.
We were like, all right, we're going to write this down, write that down, which we never do. So you guys are getting a really prepared episode today.
Yeah,
I feel.
You guys are lucky.
I fear we've come prepared today.
Guess what? We're being so brave.
We're so brave. Oh my God. The F1 commentators would be like, wow, so brave of them to come prepared for their podcast.
Crafty would be like, they're being so brave for writing an agenda.
You know, the thing that they're supposed to do.
Anyway,
it comes along with their job. Anyways, yeah, we did watch China. We didn't watch the sprint. I feel like we did. Oh my God, we did watch the sprint, didn't we?
Yesterday.
I was just prepared to be like, you know what, guys, we didn't actually do all of it, but we actually did. For once, we really did. We really committed to the bit of being F1 fans this weekend.
It's just been so hard with these late races. Like, it's just like it's throwing my schedule off because...
I mean, life has been hard too lately, dude. Like, we've had a lot going on.
I know. There
are some people out there that have F1 podcasts that are content creators, and I'm like, you guys, how do you have the time? How do you have the time to do this so deeply every week?
I'm jealous.
I can't. I just can't. I try my best, but I'm just a girl.
I'm just a girl. Gwen Stefani.
Oh, I was saying I'm not a girl.
Not yet a woman.
Yeah, that's also how I feel. I'm not a girl, but not yet a woman.
Anyway, yeah, we did watch the sprint race. And it was actually really exciting. That's why we put it on. Because I was like, okay, I've seen some things. I've heard some things. And I mean, I woke up to the news of Lando Norris being P1, getting pole for the sprint race. And I was
How could we not watch it?
Well, Max isn't in first place. So, like, obviously it's going to be a little bit exciting. And
turns out it wasn't.
It was like
it was exciting, but Max did win by 13 seconds.
He won by 13 seconds today too.
I just feel like I'm cutting Max out. Like, I'm cutting him out of the equation for F1 in 2024.
Always.
Like, I'm focusing on F1 in every other way. Like, it's like we're eliminating P1 and we're going for the rest.
Well, today Nico was talking to Lando after, obviously he came in P2 and he was like, oh, despite coming in P2, does it still feel like a win for you? And Lando was like, well, anytime I finish under Max, it's always a win for me because obviously he's never going to beat Max.
Yeah. And Max is just like, well, that's just how it is.
Yeah, Max was on one today coming into, he drifted into the finish line and he was just like, yeah, I'm just balls to the wall having fun today. He was kind of in a silly, goofy mood.
He was, and I appreciated that about him.
And I really love that for him. Really, him wheezing in the podcast room
when he saw Lance hit Danny. Just a wheeze laugh. I was like, that's so real. That is so real. That's exactly how I responded. It sounded just like you. Like, you and Max are
Yeah,
one and the
me
same
and
in that
Max are
moment.
one. I think Max and I truly believe Max and I would get along really well.
100%.
I think we would really vibe. I think we could
Yeah.
be good friends.
Mhm.
So, Max, if you're listening and you're, like, looking for a new friend, I think we should maybe try it out because I think that we could be good friends. I think we'd get each other.
I think so too. I mean, I feel like you guys are so similar that obviously I would get along with him.
Well, here's the thing too, it's that it's like, I feel as if I have a little bit of the same sense of humor as Danny, which is why I like him so much. If Max likes Danny, obviously, we're
It's a match made in heaven. Absolutely.
so, yeah, this was a really, really fun race.
I thought so.
Well, let me backtrack. It wasn't fun for me as a Danny fan. Once again,
I mean,
long suffering.
similarly to how we have to just like kind of count Max out for this season, I think we have to just count out the Danny situation to qualify how fun a race is.
It's so hard though because he was doing so well. It was his
It
best
wasn't
race in the
even his
season.
fault,
Well, depending who you ask.
depending who you ask.
Depending who you ask, it wasn't his fault.
That is so funny to me. This is the best drama we've gotten in a while. Like this is like I'm like fight,
That we
fight,
we need a repeat of Esteban
and
or
Max.
Max shoving Esteban in the garage. Like
Yeah, I
Danny
need
needs to
it.
go deck Lance.
Yeah, we need like a Michael Schumacher photo of Danny absolutely rampaging through
Yeah.
he's just like through the
He's
pit
got the
lane.
Arthur fist.
Like I need it because if you missed it, Lance, as soon as he and Danny made contact, which again, if you missed it,
Locked up.
Alonso locked up and all during the safety car. So nobody can go faster or slower. Really. Like everyone has to go their same speed. And so everyone's bunched up. They're really close together. And Alonso locks up. Everyone's like in the turn already. So everyone basically it's just like one after another. It's like a train car. Everyone is so close going around this. And so Danny obviously has to kind of brake a little bit because they're going around a sharp turn.
Yeah.
And Lance hit the back of Danny's car, lifted Danny's car up off the ground, and then Danny somehow kept going and finished the race. Or no,
No.
he didn't finish the race, but he kept going. Crazy. And as soon as that happened, Lance said, "This idiot just like
Slammed on
stopped
his
on
brakes.
his brakes. Like I couldn't do anything." And Danny kind of went off after the
Danny
race.
said, "Hold my beer." He said, "Hold on." He said, "Oh, he said that?
Hold
Oh,
my Blue Coast Brewing beer.
he ran his mouth about me like that? No, I don't fucking think so." He said, I was calming down. I was finding peace with the situation, and I hear he said that. Oh, that's pissing me off. I'm pissed off again. I'm ready to fight."
And so he said, it's so funny because like he was like, I'm trying not to say anything bad, but then is just like, actually, just kidding. I'm gonna go off.
He said, "You
He
know what?
goes,
Actually, I will speak on it."
actually, I've changed my mind. He said, apparently, I'm an idiot and it was my fault. That made my blood boil. The only thing you've got to do is watch the car in front. I'm doing my best not to say what I want to say, but fuck that guy. And I'm being nice too. But if that's what he thinks, dot, dot, dot. And then he went on to say, I watched his onboard and he's not even looking at me. He's looking at the apex of the corner. I don't know why he's not looking at the car in front. And go off, King.
You know
You
what?
tell him. You tell him.
And Lance got a 10-second penalty for that in the race, but I think post race they filed a complaint and because Lance was not looking at the road, and I think he's going to have a bigger penalty at some point
Yeah.
because Danny was also handed the 3-point penalty.
Replace.
3 place penalty for Miami because he overtook Nico under a safety car. And the reason for that was that they called him in. They called both of them in.
Oh, we got called to the principal's office.
And he explained that he felt that he could overtake Nico because Nico had overtaken him under safety car before on lap 28. The stewards noted that car 27 was permitted to overtake car 3 on lap 28 because of Article 55.8.
Oh, we're citing sources. We're citing our sources.
So
Got receipts.
Danny said, "Okay, well, he did it to me, so I'm doing it back to him," and then he got punished for that.
For an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, Daniel. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind.
It just was like a really, really tough day for not only Danny but also poor Yuki. Yuki got the short end of the stick because Magnussen ran into him. So we had a double DNF for V carb this week, and Yuki was pissed too. But I think Danny was maybe on track to score some points and maybe turn his luck around. But
The full moon, man. We thought it was gonna help him, it only hurt him. Lance harnessed the power of the full moon
Yeah,
for evil.
Lance, what witching powers did you do? What curse have you set forth upon Daniel Ricciardo?
With that eclipse.
Yeah, so our hypothesis that he would start from the back of the grid and reach his way to the
And win?
podium is incorrect.
Incorrect, and
That's a
you
tough
know
one for us.
what? We can't be right all the time. We can't be right all the time, but we can try. But what I do wanna talk about that was very good, I wanna talk about some good stuff from China. Number 1, Alex Albon's helmet, iconic.
I
It
loved
was,
it.
I think, maybe one of the best helmets I've ever
Yeah, it
seen.
was so
Like,
fun.
so cute, so
I loved
fun.
the promo that they did too, like, with all of the pandas.
Yes.
It was really cute.
So cute. So I loved that. And I mean, we can't talk about the Chinese Grand Prix without talking about Zhou Guanyu.
Yeah, of course.
I have never felt so much pure, like, joy for another human being. Like,
Yeah,
I just felt like this weekend, I think that they did a really great job about making it about him, but not, like, overdoing it where it felt, like, cheesy,
yeah.
but, like, I think Stake did I mean, we've talked, we think Stake is doing the best job on social this year, especially with its drivers, but, like, they had such a cute little thing that they did where Joe was bringing Valtteri around Shanghai
Mhm.
and, like,
Showing him,
showing
like,
him all of these
all
little
his favorite
spots. He would go
spots.
here to this, like, food hall for food, and, like, they were getting food together, and they were talking about hot pot, and then he brought Valtteri to get tea, like, a tea thing with him. It was just, like, really, really sweet,
Yeah,
and I think that they're just, I mean, I've said it before, I love them as teammates. I think they're so cute, and I think that, like, Valtteri does such a good job at being, like, kind of like that older brother mentor almost, and so to see him just be so, like, genuinely interested in this tour around Shanghai with Joe was so sweet, and then, obviously, at the race, I was just like, it was just, like, so heartwarming to see all of the support that he was getting, and, I mean, there hasn't been a race in China in
5
5 years.
years.
They've never had this. Zhou's the first Chinese driver in history. So, like, for him to be the first Chinese driver to have a home race, for him to be the driver that the Chinese fans have to root at home, it was so special and so touching. You could just, like, feel the love at that circuit, and then gave him his own Parc Fermé spot so that he could park at the end of the race in front of the grandstand, and he got out and, like, started crying, and it was just, like, I was crying, like,
Everyone was crying. Everyone loved that.
it was so sweet. I just, like, oh, it
Yeah,
made me so happy.
and his radio or either his radio or him saying, like, "I used to dream of this, like, I dreamed of being here, I dreamed of being in this paddock, and to, like, finally have my dreams come true." He's like, "The past 2 years, there hasn't been a race in Shanghai," and so he's like, "That was a little disappointing, but being here today has been, like, so special," and I'm just like, "Follow your dreams, baby."
It's God, it, like, really just warmed all of the dead pieces of my heart, truly. I was so happy for him. So I feel like that, like, was really just, like,
The
a
icing
cherry on top
Yeah.
of this weekend. Like, I'm so happy for him, and I'm so happy for the fans, and I just feel like it was, like, a really special moment to witness too. Like, it's like, that's history. That's history being made, and I think that's so fun. So China, 10 out of 10, 5 stars.
I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to see next year, and I think the track is really cool too.
It's so fun. It is so fun. I would love to go. I mean, like, that area of China just looks so beautiful, and we saw, like, Alex and Lily do, because Lily was born in Chengdu, Sichuan, and so they went there for a little bit and looked so beautiful, and, like, I just think it's such a beautiful country. I would love to someday have the chance to
Yeah,
witness it in
same.
person. So, on our list of circuits that I think we'd love to go to.
Amen.
But let's get into some bigger F1 news for the week.
Yeah. So, in terms of larger F1 news this week, this one is not really F1 news, F1 adjacent. But there's a rumor that potentially Mick Schumacher may make an IndyCar entrance next year for Prima Racing.
Yeah, because Prima's getting into Indy.
Yep. So Prima has said that they want a European driver to represent them in the IndyCar series, and so Mick is pretty high on that list. Gunther's out here running his mouth again about Mick. I feel like
What do you
he
say?
loves to talk shit about. He loves to chat about Mick, but They interviewed him for this piece, or maybe they pulled a quote from a different article, but they were asking Gunther about Mick's possible return to F1, and
Mhm.
Gunther is straight up like, "If it's not happening next year, it's never happening for him." He's like, he can count his motherfucking days, but, like, he's like, he has to show himself in, like, the European, like, league that he's in currently.
Yeah.
It's like Extreme or whatever it is,
Mhm.
in order for him to be seen as a valuable team player next year, and he's like, "I just don't see it happening." So, you know what, Mick, maybe you following in your father's footsteps in F1 is not the right move for you, but maybe you paving your own way in IndyCar could be the right move for you.
And I think here's the thing is that a lot of drivers who have not been top of the podium successful in Formula 1 are super successful in IndyCar. Like that is like we see Marcus Ericsson, who obviously was in Formula 1 for a long time. He was Charles' uh, teammate at
Sauber.
Sauber. Like if you came into the sport during from Drive to Survive, season 1 of Drive to Survive, that's where Charles was. He was at Sauber, and Marcus Ericsson was his teammate who was way more experienced, but they're like, Marcus has never been on the podium. He has a lot of experience, but has never kind of reached that level of success in F1. And now he has won the Daytona 500. Like he's super successful in IndyCar. And we also saw Roman Grosjean, who obviously, had his ups and downs in F1, but was never kind of in the running for a world championship. But he's gone and on to be super successful in IndyCar as well. So I feel like this could be, a place where maybe Mick really does find his groove.
Yeah.
I think we see a lot of people that I think F1 is just so competitive, and there's only 20 drivers, and it's the way that the sport is set up. It's very much like if you're not at the top, you're not.
I mean, realistically, yeah.
Like that there are other motorsport series out there that have more of like an even playing field for everyone that's involved, and so it allows for more success from different people, varied
I
success.
agree.
So,
Listen, everyone can't be a winner all the time, unfortunately.
unfortunately for America.
Except everyone but Max.
Yeah,
So, you know, I think if Mick finds success, I mean, I'll go watch Mick at IndyCar. I'd love to see his bright, shining smile. And you know what? It makes sense because you and I have regularly talked about how Mick is all American hero.
yeah.
So this is actually his destiny. It was written in the stars, I think.
I think we kinda predicted this for a while.
I want to see him in worn out Levi's. I want to see him
It's
in
the cable knit sweater
the
for me.
cable knit sweater. Like,
Oh, I wanna see him at a pumpkin
and
patch.
here's the thing too is that Pato better watch his back when Mick comes in because Mick is quite a cutie, and I would love to see them pimp him out for just like all of the promo.
I mean, yeah.
Put him, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Put him in a cable knit sweater, make the girls go wild.
My cable knit sweater brings all the girls to the yard. Other things happening in F1 is I saw this morning, pretty crazy. So, there is a potential new points
Oh
system.
yeah, she goes, "Oh, cue the haters."
Pff, get ready, like, truly, cue the F1 purists. This is bold of them. Like, people are gonna be like, "Tradition!" Like, "Tradition and points, and how are we gonna compare people from 100 years ago?" Like, I'm prepared for the haters to be coming,
Facts.
for F1 here. But, allegedly, F1 is reportedly discussing a new point system where points would be distributed to the top 12 drivers to hopefully create more relevance to midfield battle. And this could be implemented as early as 2025. So we could see this as soon as next year. Um, which I kind of like. I think that we've seen a lot more midfield battles. Like, I mean, it's always been a thing in F1. Midfield battles are fun to watch, but it's what's really
What's at stake? Nothing's at stake.
so essentially what the point system would look like is the same for the top 6 drivers, or top 7. So, as of right now, P1 gets 25, then 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6. So 7th place gets 6 points. And as of right now, 8th, ninth, and 10th Uh, 8th place gets 4 points, ninth place gets 2 points, 10th place gets 1 point. And essentially what they would do is from 8 to 12, it just is 1 point difference. So 8th
Mhm.
would get 5, ninth 4, 10th 3, 11th 2, and 12th 1. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it just, it elongates it just a little bit so that like a little bit more of these midfield places, and people that are like just missing out on points could now get a point, and it's really just kind of like the bottom of the pack that doesn't get
Yeah.
awarded points, which I think is interesting, and I think, I don't know, I think it could be kind of fun. It could give people a little bit more of a chance, especially in this era of like really dominant cars.
Yeah.
However, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll like it, or if it won't really make a lot of difference.
Well, do you think they're gonna be upset about it in the same way that they were upset about Andretti potentially coming in and there being 11th team, and they're like, "This is disrupting, like, the points and how money is being spread around," and so it's like, okay, well, if you add more potential points, then that's less money that someone could potentially get if they get, like, 8th place versus 8th place
No,
next year.
I don't think that the top teams are gonna care because nothing changes for them.
Right.
I think that midfield teams, it'll be interesting to see because I think it'll be the ones that are really coming in around that area, around like P10, P11, P12, like that are really kind of in there that are gonna like it because they'll have more chance for points. And the teams right above it that are kind of, I don't know, I think it's interesting because it doesn't change too much
Yeah.
because it's not like they're doing every single position gets different points now.
Right.
It's just those last few. So I don't know, but it is also like you think about the sprint race and people being upset about people getting more points just for having a race. And so I mean it does disrupt the historical designation of points.
Yeah.
Why people were so upset about the sprint because it's like comparing stats from several years ago to people now and
But it's like,
it's like we can't not everything's apples to
it's
apples.
not.
It's similar. We're gonna go there. I'm going a little political right now.
Okay.
Get ready.
Buckle up.
Buckle up. It's similar to in the United States when we talk about Second Amendment. Is it Second Amendment? Right to bear arms? Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. And we're like, it's historical, it's traditional, it's been this way forever, so we shouldn't update it. And when you think about that, it's like, okay, but yes, but when this was implemented, we were using bayonets. Like
Must
we were had muskets. Like that were the arms that were being
took you
bared.
10 minutes to load that gun and
Like,
fire it at
someone
some
could run away pretty quickly. Like, there and now we obviously have access to, like,
semi-automatic,
semi-automatic, like, war grade.
unclip hundreds of bullets in 30 seconds.
So, it's like, okay, but so does the rule that was made back when muskets were all the rage, does that rule have to stay the same even though technology has advanced? Now, it's kind of similar to F1.
Gun control, new point system, how are they the same?
'Cause it's like the points and, like, thinking about the point system back at the conception
Yeah.
of F1, the cars you look at the cars and I'm like, "What even were those?" Like, they were
Basically
literally
pedaling them with their own feet at
they were Flintstone cars, like, if Fred Flintstone was racing. But, like, I mean, you look at them and you're like, "Okay, that could have maybe made sense." Now you look at all the new regulations and the technology that these cars have, and it's like, "Okay, but does now it make sense to take this system and evolve it to match the times?" Like, I don't think that people ever like to see change in, like, fundamentals of how something works,
Mhm.
but it does call into question, does this need to, evolve to match the times and the technology of everything surrounding it? And I think
Listen,
yes.
you're preaching to the choir here. But I'm thinking, like, with F1, it's like, why wouldn't you want it to be more competitive? Why wouldn't you want it to, like, be more fun? Like, and this is the whole problem with F1 as a sport in general, is that they are so classist, they are so traditionalist, they are so, it has to follow the rules, it has to be cookie cutter, it has to be black and white. And I think that they're running into some issues with that in the current times, that I think will ultimately be their downfall. So, if I don't I think that if they do not upgrade and they don't make some changes, like, they're gonna lose what they have,
Yeah,
and, it's gonna be pretty disappointing for a lot of people.
agreed. if they don't change these points, I'm out.
I'm out.
But that's something new and something that we'll definitely be keeping our eyes on. Also, huge news in the F1 world. Huge news in the F1 world. F1 Arcade has opened in the United States, and we were there.
And we got to go and experience it, and it was so fun.
I had a really good time. I think if you've never been to the F1 Arcade in London, I haven't. So I didn't really have anything to compare this to. Neither has Nicole. But it was really interesting. So F1 Arcade opened its first US location in Boston, Massachusetts. And as two proud former Boston residents, we got to go. And it was fun. It was cool. It was the grand open or like soft
Launch party
launch party.
event.
It wasn't open to the public yet. So it was very like it was an event. There was a DJ, there was past drinks and apps and food and everyone from the Boston influencer scene. There was the New England Patriots were there. Like it was insane. I will say they may have missed the mark in inviting motor adjacent people. We were in line to get it because they were checking people in, and so yes, there was a line. Um, it was like the one cool thing happening in Boston that weekend, so everyone was there. We're waiting in line to get checked in, and someone behind us in line says, "F1 Arcade sounds like cars. Like, it sounds like F1 cars."
Crazy, huh? Crazy how that
We're
works.
like, "Got it. Got it. That's what we're walking into. Got it." So, I think there was a little miss there, but it was, like, every single Boston influencer that, like, seen, was in this place. But that being said, it was very cool, very fun. F1 Arcade has, 100 sims at least.
I think they had like 70.
Insane.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look, there was a different sim, and it's really cool, so you can play kind of you're basically racing the other sims around you, but you don't have to, like, pay attention to that, like, you're just kind of
You
racing.
can drive your own race. Hey.
You can drive your own race,
Sam
or
was today. He was not paying attention to anyone else.
I'm on a sim right now. So, like, you can, race on your own, you can be the one, or you can, like, have your friends sit next to you and, like, race them, which was so fun, and I've never done a full sim before, and so, I mean, it took a little bit. It took a race or 2 to get the
I
hang
had
of
to get
it.
the hang of it. I was like, "Do I have to drive? I have to drive with 2 feet. This is new for me." I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing."
I will say I got really good at it.
I was like, "Do I have to shift gears? I don't know how to shift gears."
I think it was doing it automatically because we were on easy. Yeah.
The one that I started, which was like the 3rd
Pro.
hardest, I was like, okay, I have no fucking." I flipped over in that race. Like I literally knocked into someone and I did a took a tumble.
Yeah.
So definitely start with easy is my pro tip. You don't try and be a hero here.
Rookie level is where it's at, but then we raced each other, which was really fun. It really does get your adrenaline pumping. Like, I was like, I feel like I get it. I get why these drivers do it. I was like, I want this to be over. Like, I'm having so much fun. It was really cool. I would definitely go back to, like, spend some time on The Sims, and I guess they were telling us that you can do, like, groups of, I think, like, 8 people, and you get 4 Sims, and so but you're on teams, so then you, like, kind of swap in and out of the seats, and you have like a team race, which I think is really cool. I would love to do that. I think it was just really fun, and they circulate the different tracks. So Nicole raced at Coda for one race, and then we did Zandvoort, and then where else was I? I
You were in Abu Dhabi
think I was Abu Dhabi, yeah.
or
Which is such a
Bahrain, something like
so
that.
it was so fun. It's cool. You can just like go and race the different tracks, and you can adjust, like we said, the level of how hard it is. And it was just really cool. Outside of that, they also had the reaction time, Pierre's specialty.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. Huge bars.
Yeah.
The bars were
There were probably like 5 rooms, like 5 different areas, and each one of them had their own bar.
yeah, massive and gorgeous. Like I think like like just the
The ambiance, the aesthetic.
really cool. It's like floor to ceiling glass windows all around it pretty much, so you just like kind of look over the Boston skyline and what's going on. It's in a really cool part of the seaport, kind of right in the middle of the action in that neighborhood. So I think all in all, I think it's really cool. They also will, if you are in the Boston area, they will be doing watch parties for every single race, no matter the hour. So they opened this week.
They opened on Monday.
Yeah, they were not open for the Chinese Grand Prix. However, next year for the Chinese Grand Prix at 3 AM, they will be open. And when they host watch parties, I believe they said it'll be open play. So it'll be free play. You can play The Sims for free. You'll just have to purchase drinks and food. But super cool. I think that's something really new for the Boston area, have something open those hours. So really cool. We'll definitely be looking into hosting maybe some Boston area watch parties, which I think will be really fun.
They had really fun themed food and drinks, F1 themed, and Kate and I did not partake because we were still doing our Whole30, but we are looking forward to going back and trying them out because we heard about they have mini corn dogs, which apparently are the best thing on the menu, and they're called glizzies,
Try
and
it.
so we have to try them.
The waiter came up and asked Nicole if she wanted to try one.
He was like, "Glizzy?" And I was like, are you just saying that to me because it's like a hot dog, or is this like the actual name of the thing? I have no
He was
idea.
like, "Are you making a joke with me? Like, what's
No,
happening?"
that's actually what they're called.
Hysterical. So, yeah, we're excited to go back. We'll be back very soon, I think. So, hot thing to do if you're in the New England area of the United States or taking a trip to Boston anytime soon. Okay. It's time for driver news.
Driver drama.
Let's get into the driver stuff. So, I'm gonna start with a little bit of a silly season discussion. There's a lot to talk about here. So, Alonso, we know, has been the first to kind of make a silly season announcement that he's staying with Aston Martin, but he did say that this is probably his last contract, to the surprise of no one. Like, Alonso, I think about 12 times today during the race, they're like, he's about to be the oldest driver in history. Like, Alonso,
And you know what though? He still got it.
got
So
it.
he could be like, you know what? Fuck it. One more contract.
One more, and he'll just do, like, one-year contracts for a while, like, he might.
But it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, well, if he keeps performing at this level and he
He might
keeps
as well.
winning
Like,
and he's providing really valuable insight, it's like, what reason do they have? And he wants to keep racing. Like, same with Lewis. Like, if they're doing well and they're bringing a lot of value to the team, but you know what? This kind of plays into the whole generational thing too, where they're like, boomers don't retire and they don't give up like positions of influence in companies and people can't move up. And so like it's giving that where it's like, hey, grandpa, it's time for you to go. Go do
anything else.
an advisory role, join a board, I do something else.
Do something else, please. Yeah, so that's interesting, but also along the news of silly season and Aston Martin is that apparently, so we talked about this, that Honda is about to move into Aston Martin and supply the engines, and apparently Honda is, like, desperate to see you
To see Yuki, I saw that.
Martin, they really want a Japanese driver to be driving the Honda cars, and that is super interesting. I've also seen a couple rumors, it's more opinions, it's not really rumors, it's just people thinking things, saying that they really think that Lance is gonna quit after this year, like, he's gonna be done with F1, kinda similar to what we were talking about last year of, like, Aston Martin's gonna keep Lance, but does Lance want to be kept?
Yeah.
TBD. So, could be interesting. Someone was saying maybe Lance will move into, like, a more, like, advisory position and, like, help, like, with the car or
Lance,
something.
go do something else, bro.
Just do what makes your heart happy, like,
Go just come on the weekends and have fun with it.
you don't even really have to do anything because 'cause you're so rich.
You don't have to do anything. I'm so jealous.
So just make your heart happy, take some time for yourself, focus on you, have an eat, pray, love year, I don't know.
I would
So
love to watch Lance's chronicles of him having an Eat, Pray, Love year.
be so funny. But also in the discussions of what's gonna be happening with this musical chairs of open seats, Helmut Marko had a lot to say this week.
Helmut Marko has
Has
been
been having a lot.
busy. He's been busy saying things. He's been busy.
He's been chatting it up. He should have his own podcast like us, where he just says things. He's been busy.
Helmut
So he
Marko's rumor corner would be so fire. Like I feel like he has a lot of opinions. This is not me endorsing him, but I would just love because we talk mad shit about Helmut Marko on this pod. But yeah, I feel like he's a chatty Cathy and he's got things to say. So
someone put a mic in front of him.
this is
So
the only white man with a podcast we're condoning.
So, but he had a lot of kind of conflicting messages about the second seat at Red Bull. So, first, he came out to say that Red Bull has been talking to Carlos and like kind of trying to sign Carlos for that second seat, but that Carlos has a huge offer from Audi. Audi has a huge offer from Audi that Red Bull cannot match or compete with. So, like, holy shit,
You get that bag, baby.
get that bag, Carlos. Take a year off for you and come back with Audi if that's what it takes, because damn, go for it. He also said that Danny does not have any hope of securing a seat at Red Bull if he's not clearly faster than Yuki.
Hey, he did finish above Yuki today, so
Neither of them finished.
okay, well, technically, it said Danny was 18th and Yuki was 19th.
Technically. So
Technicality, it's still a loophole.
there's that. But then he came out and said that he admitted that Checo Perez is the best Red Bull option for 2025. So I'm like, are you guys just striking out and Checo's your last resort? What's
Yeah,
happening here?
what's kind of going on there? Yeah, I don't it will be such a wild card if they are like, "Surprise, actually, Checo is going to be re-signed," after
All
all
of
of the
this,
drama.
all the drama of everyone being like, it's gonna be literally anyone. It's really been ABC, anyone but Checo.
But you know what? That would be so vindicating and so validating for Checo to be
Yeah.
like, "I sat in silence. I let you guys run your mouths."
He was moving in
He
silence.
said, "Don't worry
Oh,
about me. Focus on
I'll be
yourself.
there. I'll be there.
You worry
You
about me.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll be there, and I'll remember every one of you that said I shouldn't be.
We're first on that list."
Who doesn't give a fuck about us?
Anyway,
Anyways, we're nervous now.
I'm shaking in my boots. Okay, speaking of Lance Stroll potentially retiring,
He might be forced
he
into
might be
retirement.
forced into retirement because well, how many races have we had? 6? 5?
4? 4,
5.
5?
I mean, this
5.
is race 5. So we're 5 races into the 2024 season, and obviously this is within a full calendar year, but Logan Sargent and Lance Stroll are now more than halfway towards receiving a race ban after being involved in incidents during the Chinese Grand Prix. So they have so many points against them on their super license already that it is going to be a ban for them pretty soon. I don't doubt that they will reach that limit.
No.
The 2 of them are kind of on a chaos roll right now.
They really reign of terror.
They're
There's a
reign
reign of terror.
double L's, reign of terror.
LS. The LSs, Logan Sargent, Lance Stroll. If you're an SLR LS, you're on a reign of terror right
And the
now.
2 kind of North American frat boys,
They're linking up and they're saying, "Let's cause some
the
chaos."
bike boys are on one over there.
Lambda Sigma, the brothers of Lambda Sigma,
The disgusting brothers of Lambda Sig.
the disgusting brothers of Lambda Sigma on terror straight.
So since the system was introduced 10 years ago, no driver has ever reached a tally of 12 to be issued a race exclusion. Pierre got pretty close.
Pierre did get close. I remember that.
I was like, he had one race until his thing reset. I think Checo did too. They
Yeah,
got pretty close, and then they were like 2 races away from like having a reset because it's like within a full 12 months. It's not like just season. So they carry over to the new
yeah.
season if you get like points in December.
And didn't they like almost voluntarily keep Pierre out of a race because they were like, we'd rather like
No, they were like, what was gonna happen? There was speculation that they were gonna have Pierre just get the point. And so because it was
oh, they didn't want him to miss out on the first race of the next season. I
yeah,
think.
because he was going into Alpine, remember?
Yeah,
It was when he was switching from AlphaTauri to Alpine,
yeah,
and they were just gonna he was just gonna, like, get the point so that he could go into the season fresh,
yeah.
but that did not happen.
Sneaky snake.
However, Sargent is now the driver that's closest to being punished following an infringement during the race in Shanghai. Similar to Danny, everyone's kind of taking over Nico under safety cars. The stewards determined that Sargent overtook Nico under a safety car when the latter came out of the pits. When passing the safety car line, Hulkenberg was ahead and Sargent failed to yield the position. So he received, yeah, I mean, whatever. He finished above both of them today, so it is what it is.
Is
So
what it is.
Logan and Lance better watch their backs because a ban is coming for them.
Yeah. I mean, okay, we gotta rewind a little bit to Pierre.
Yeah, how do we miss this?
We gotta rewind to Pierre because we were just talking about him almost getting a race ban, and I'm similarly about to ban him from not going to the barber.
We need to ban the images of him from the internet right now.
What's going on with his hair, both on his head and facially?
And you know what? We used to talk all the time about Pierre's neck beard, how bad it was.
He has the
He
weirdest.
seemingly got it in order for him.
Yes.
Thank you, Kika.
Thank you, Kika.
However, I don't know what's going on right now. It is
Like, everyone's online talking about Pierre's toupee.
like Pierre, baby boy.
Like,
What
what's going on? What is the
is it just
what
that
is
he has
this?
maybe that's the case is he hasn't been able to get to his barber because they've been on the other side of the world.
Maybe, but
I'll
it's
give him the benefit of the doubt on that, but, like, he should fly that person out to him because well, it's similar with Charles and his, like, seemingly mullet that he's getting. I think all of them have just not been able to get their haircuts.
well, Charles, it's his mom,
Right.
so he's gotta get home. He was just home for his Lek event.
Was
Oh,
he?
that was Milan. I thought he was just home recently, but he's gotta get
Either
there.
way, Pierre
Charles is not as desperate as Pierre right now. Pierre is it's not looking great.
Charles's facial hair, though, has been questionable as of late as well.
Please lean back.
No, I had to sit up for this. I had to
No,
sit
I mean, a lot of things about Charles has been questionable of late, alright? I've been saying it.
You'll be the first to say.
I'm the first to say that Charles needs to step up his game in life right now for me. Other than becoming a father, that's the one thing that he's done lately.
I will say this though, that people when we posted about his potential mullet, like it's kind of growing out in the back, people were like, "No, no, this duo, we liked it."
Yeah, I liked it.
Shut up,
I
Charles.
think he looks good. I'm just gonna say it now. I think he looks great. I think he's been looking good.
He's always looking good.
He's looking good to me.
Pierre, take some tips.
Just
Say, Pierre,
absolutely.
do you not have anyone in your life who's like, "Hey, bud, maybe do something
It's
about
the beard just looking really thick and, like, unruly a little bit. Like, it's getting to the point where I'm like, "You could brush that." I know, I don't like that. And the hair is, by popular consensus, looking like a toupee. Not my words, the internet's words, so it's not me, but I don't disagree.
Yeah, just as we got to do something about it. He's not looking his best, and I know Pierre. I know there's a real handsome Pierre under there. I know there
We
is.
also do know that he has a problem with his hairline, though, as well. We've seen the photo.
We've seen the photos.
So unless he got some plug.
We're we're every week we're wondering who has plugs in on the F1 grid.
Unless he has some plugs and that's why his hair is being, like, so, like, thick now, and he doesn't know how to deal with it because he's never had so much hair.
It's a potential.
Talk to Lewis about it. Big week for us talking about Alonso.
I mean,
Alonso is a big topic.
you know, always bringing it back to Lance redemption year, and he keeps proving me wrong. But it's Alonso's redemption year, and
Got a Taylor Swift song written about him.
if you remember this time last
I don't
year,
remember. If you recall,
it was like this time last
I
year.
know. Nuts.
That feels like
So long ago.
no, it doesn't though. Like it doesn't feel that long ago to me, and I
I know
feel
what
like
I'm just saying, it is so long ago, but it does not feel that way.
and so if you have, been under a rock this week, Taylor Swift did release a new album,
Double album.
double album on last Friday. And in one of her lyrics in her song I'm Gonna Get You Back is I'm an Aston Martin and you drove me right into the ditch. And so obviously everyone said the rumors of
The
Taylor
rumors were true.
they were true. And Alonso moved in silence, similar to Checo. He said, I'll let you talk. I'll let you guys run your mouths. I'm not going to say a single thing about it.
No, he posted that video, the TikTok about it, though.
Last year
Oh,
when
last
people were speculating on it. And so he posted a little video with the lyrics. And I
like a little wink, a little
a
cheeky
little
wink.
winky wink, a little shh. And
I'm
I
thinking it might be true.
I love it.
I might be subscribing to this former. They might have gone on a date.
Or do you think Taylor was like, "Hey, I saw all of the rumors about the Alonso thing, and obviously it wasn't true, but I could have picked any car, and so I'm gonna pick Aston Martin just to kinda, like, stoke the flames a little bit."
Stir the pot a little bit.
What?
Stir the pot.
Do you think Alonso and Taylor have ever spoken? You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I mean, the thing is, though
Maybe their teams have spoken, but I don't think they've spoken.
yeah, but that's why I'm wondering, like
Unless they spoke a long time ago when she, like, performed at Coda, and it was, like, kind of early days of her fame because obviously Alonso was around.
yeah, he's been around forever.
He's always been around. So unless they, like, met back then but I don't think they, like, talk now.
The
I
songs
do not think that they speak now.
The song "Smallest Man Alive" is also is also about Alon.
Surprise, the entire album is actually just about Alonso.
I'm just I'm just thinking about how all of these songs could be about Alonso, and it's
I'm
making
just thinking about the title of that song being "I'm Gonna Get You Back."
she's desperate.
She's waiting for him to have his final contract so that they can finally be together. She's like, "You are really used to traveling around the world. Come do it with me
Don't do it
on
with
my
me.
private jet."
I'm screaming. Yeah, that would be hysterical. So, kind of a perfect bow on that Taylonzo rumor. Like, it
Incredible.
was
Like, it was she
ultimate ultimate completion, the ultimate finality that we needed. The rumor had fallen off.
it's back.
It's back.
And what a conclusion it was.
Should we get into some F1 Academy stuff?
We should. We should get into F1 Academy. So, if you remember from last week, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago when Max said some things about F1 Academy, one of the championship leader of F1 Academy has now come out and said that she disagrees with him.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm gonna reread what Max said in case, any of you listening missed that episode. I should not read it and make you go back and listen, but I'm nice, so I'm gonna read it. So, Max said, "It is good that Formula One is now paying extra attention to women in motorsport with the F1 Academy, although I have question marks about how they approach it. The cars they drive are far too slow. If you ever want to get them into Formula One, it really has to go to a higher level. It's nice that girls are now sponsored by Formula One teams, but what are we actually helping them with? There is no next step for them now. The gap to a Formula One car, for example, is already too big." And we talked about this last week, and that's not necessarily true because they are driving like Formula 4 cars, and like there are next steps. And so we're like, I don't know if Max maybe doesn't know, but that was just kind of us speculating. But Abby Pulling, who is in the lead of F1 Academy Championship right now, has come out with a statement, and she said, "I like Max. I don't know if he knows that the winner last year went to Formula Regional and is racing with Prima, who won the championship last year. I don't know if he knows that's an opportunity that we get, the championship winner. I disagree on the point that there's no next step. I'd like to think that if I was to win the championship this year or anyone else, they would get the same prize, if not more than what happened last year with Marta Garcia." And as a refresher, Marta Garcia, the winner last year, clinched the 2023 F1 Academy Championship, and this year is competing in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, FRECA, where she will drive alongside Dorian Pin for the Iron Ladies team. Mercedes announced the participation of Dorian Pin, who's currently third in the F1 Academy Championship on Thursday. Again, we're already seeing not even a championship winner or leader in the championship also being promoted to this level. The difference, I don't know if this is the same for Dorian. I have not heard, but Marta Garcia, who was last year's champion, is received a fully funded seat.
Right.
So they are fully funding her to take this next step up. So I think it's really nice that Abby kind of came out and said that, because I think that there's been a lot of talk and a lot of people trying to decide, like, and commenting on whether or not like there is a next step. And I think usually it's come from like F1 Academy leadership, or it's come from like Lewis talking, good things. So I think it's nice that Abby was also like, "Listen, I'm in this and I think it's a good thing. And like I'm happy to be here and I'm happy with the opportunities that I'm being given." And I don't think she was necessarily forced to say that. So I think that's a win.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's nice to kind of have that information out there, and not just us like speculating about what Max is saying, but someone in the know.
Someone in the know. Yeah, good for Abby for speaking up, and I hope Max attends the F1 Academy race in Miami,
Yeah.
which is our next race, which is crazy.
Crazy that's coming up so soon. We'll be there.
Gotta get our ducks in a row.
We gotta get our ducks in a row. I gotta figure out where we're gonna eat.
Yeah, we will be there. If you haven't seen our announcement already, we'll be there with Hero Cosmetics.
So
I'm very
excited.
excited. It'll be a fun trip, and I feel very lucky to be able to go and experience a race like this.
We've been talking to the people behind the Miami race, and they are really excited about some improvements that have been made to the track, and to the kind of fan experience around. So, if you haven't been around in the TG1F community for the past 2 years, we were at the inaugural Miami Grand Prix. We were in the grandstands, and we had a great time, but there were definitely some things where, like, okay, you know, growing pains of the first
Yeah.
race. And as we've been talking to Miami this year, they've made a lot of different changes, and have really focused on the fans and making the fan experience really good. So we're excited to kind of see those differences. So if you have been considering Miami, but you don't know if it's worth it and you have questions about the experience at Miami, let us know kind of what content you want to see that would help you make your decision for next year. And we're happy to kind of go around. We're thinking about doing some videos from different areas
Yep.
of the track. You know where to get your tickets. Hopefully, we'll be doing a taste test of a bunch of food, the drinks, just really kind of focusing on the experience there. So let us know, but we're very excited. And if you've been around for a while, you know we love Hero Cosmetics. So this is going to be like a really
Yeah,
fun
I'm very excited about this. Okay, and on that note, we do have a manifest minute this week.
get into it. Let's do a manifest.
This is from a follower, and her name is Marcia or Marcia. She specifically said the Spanish pronunciation of her name is not the same as the English one, but she's no phonetics expert, so just go with the best that you can. So
Thanks.
I have to say it's probably Marcia, not Marcia. But so here's her manifest. So when she was 14, she found out that being in being a flight attendant was a real job. Like she could make a living traveling the world. It felt unreal and it felt like she had found her calling. However, she came from a family of professionals and academics, so she felt this pressure to attend university and get a degree. She tried very hard and spent 6 years going from one career to another to find something that felt right, but she just couldn't. Finally, in 2020, the pandemic hit and she had to move back to her parents' house, and it gave her an opportunity to reflect on what she was doing with her life. When she found a new job where she currently works, she was able to move back to her apartment and pay to study to be a flight attendant. Reading theory never felt so easy and fulfilling. Now she's throwing herself in the arms of the power of TG1F community and hoping that her personal efforts are met with ours and we achieve this together. She's 27 and for the first time she applied for a job that she's actually excited about. An airline in the Middle East, better known by this community as a sponsor of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. She would greatly appreciate if you could send your good energy towards the underpaid, career struggling woman who knows maybe if this works, we could see each other sipping cocktails at Yas Marina. So I would like everyone to close their eyes and take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and really just imagine Marcia, and her struggling to really fit into a career that she just didn't really love. I think we've all probably been there at some point, and essentially realizing that she only has one life to live and she's gonna do whatever the heck makes her the most happiest. So she is applying for jobs. She's sent that email to Emirates. She's really excited. And in a matter of time, she's going to receive an email back about getting an interview and nailing that test. And she's going to be so excited and get to travel the world. So just imagine that future of her being super excited and being a jet setter queen.
I'm honestly envisioning myself sitting on an airplane, having someone come up to me and say, "How's this flight so far?" And looking up, and it's Marcia, and being like, "Oh my god, hey girl, we're both here. You did it. I did it. We're on our way to Abu Dhabi, and we are going to be sipping some cocktails together. But you're getting there for free because it's with your job."
Who knows? Maybe we'll get there free too because Emirates will decide to sponsor us.
So true.
So this is manifest for both of us. Sorry, Marcia, we've
Go
co-opted.
out your manifest.
Either way, there's a lot of success in the future. So let's take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and let's really set this intention this week by
Following our dreams.
dreams.
Listen to your heart.
Doing something that you've always wanted to do that's been maybe something you've pushed back on or you felt too afraid to do based on people's opinions or expectations of you, and it can be something super small like trying a new hobby, maybe doing that stand-up comedy you thought you always wanted to do but have always been really scared to do because you thought maybe people would judge you. Whatever it is, I think you should do something for yourself this week.
Yeah. Push yourself out of your comfort zone and realize that and take into account what Nicole said. Like, you only have one life to live, and let's not let other people define what our life is gonna look like. So just because you come from a family that has always had these traditional jobs, that doesn't mean that that has to be your story. And we are all the authors of our own story. So just do what makes you happy. Try something new. Be brave, like all the F1 drivers. Be brave and just do something that's gonna really make your heart happy this week. And think about Marcia while you do it.
Well, on that beautiful note, that's a wrap for us.
That's a wrap. We'll be back next week with another episode, but in the meantime,
We'll see
we'll
you
see you
on
on
the
the
internet.
internet. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of TG1F, an F1 podcast with Kate and Nicole.
If you like what you heard, don't miss out on the fun between episodes.
Keep up with the chaos on Instagram at 2 Girls 1 Formula. That's spelled out TWO Girls numerical 1 Formula.
And check out our website, twogirls1formula.com, to shop cute fan-made F1 merch.
See you next week.
But like we said, in the meantime, we'll see you on the internet.